You know, Delynn, a
Yes.
friend of mine is getting a divorce,
That's sad.
and they're splitting the house. He's getting the outside.
Ba-dum-bum. You know, if I were married to you, I would poison that coffee.
You know what? If I were married to you, I would drink it. Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Horvath, and this is Moving Forward TV, your local market update.
Hello, everyone, and I am Delynn Gaston. Thank you for joining us today. So
today we're going to talk about how to poison your mate's coffee.
No, not
Well, you
necessarily.
said you were
I
gonna,
know.
You said you were going to poison mine, and I was willing to drink. Am I a giver? or
Willing,
what?
I know. What a guy. You know, it's really kind of funny. That's how, like, you know, so many, I watch Snapped a lot.
What is that?
Oh, that is a really good show on Saturday afternoons while doing laundry.
Is it about poisoning people's coffee?
Yes. It's
Oh.
about,
And you watch
it's
this
about
stuff?
how, you know,
that's crazy.
murders and things like that. No, it's crazy. It's
Wow.
it's weird. But anyway,
Now we're really
but a
gonna
lot of
talk-
people do that with antifreeze.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Sad.
that's not glucosamine, right?
Yeah, whatever's in antifreeze.
And that's part of, I think that's in Fireball.
Uh-oh.
That's what I hear anyway.
let's not do that.
Anyway. But anyway, this week we're going to talk about
So the real thing we're
divorce
talking about
and
is
how
not
to-
killing your spouse.
No, you don't want to kill your spouse, and sadly, we're going to talk about divorce.
Right.
And people don't want to talk about it. And guys, no, you don't get better at this the more you do it. and sadly, almost 60% of today's population will be divorced.
That is sad.
And second marriages are actually worse. It's over 50% for first-time marriages, and it's over like 60% for second-time marriages. Because I think what happens is you got divorced once, it wasn't so bad. So the second time you do it, yeah, I'm doing it again. And it's really sad. I don't know what it is for third and fourths. We don't even want to go there. Those statistics are not available in this brain.
That's crazy. And that's sad.
And it has such an impact on you and your life. And of course, what we always love to talk about, buying a home.
Right.
And how does it affect you?
And how it affects your credit.
Yeah,
in
it affects
particular
your
in
credit
buying a house.
and what your options are and when you're buying a house. But anyway, can we talk about something else?
I know. Well, what we really would like to cover is how you can kind of protect yourself and the things to be careful of, because sadly, as Barry said, the divorce statistics are rather high right now.
I just had this thought. When you said how you can protect yourself, I'm thinking, well, if you would have protected yourself in the first place, maybe you wouldn't have had to marry that biatch.
And you know, and as you were saying, like second-time divorces are like even higher. I'm thinking to myself, you know, and people say, "Oh, the first time wasn't that bad. I'll do it again." No, people I talked to the first time was pretty bad.
I know.
You know?
Well,
so I'm kind of surprised people go and do it a second time.
You know, we had a prominent attorney on our show, and we bring special guests on.
Yes.
And you know, I'm sitting there. Sadly, I've met with an attorney because, well, that's not important. But what's important is, you know. And I asked him, I'm like, you know, you're filing for divorce, and you know, it's like, why does it cost so much? And you know, he looked at me, and you know what he said?
What?
He said, because it's worth it.
There you go.
And it is expensive to get divorced.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people do stay married and
Takes
work it
a
out.
few years,
And I
huh, to
wish
recover.
I wish everybody would work it out.
I
And,
know,
you know,
I
'cause
know.
The grass is not always greener.
No, people just think it is.
And when you're both on title on the house and
Right.
you know, you have all your assets jointly, it can be a big challenge.
Yeah, so here's what
It's
happens. So
stressful.
you get married, there's two people, right? And in the Bible it says, and the two shall become one.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere along the line it kind of goes like this. And the next thing you know, we have everything in, all of your assets and your debts and your liabilities and the house and everything is all commingled.
Right.
And then all of a sudden somebody says, or you both say, let's get a divorce. And you're like, okay, how do we untangle all of this?
Well, we're going to teach you how, and probably poisoning the coffee is not the best way to do it.
No.
But thanks for trying to poison mine. Glad I caught it ahead of time.
So let's start first with, shall we start first with the house? Is that what you want to do?
Absolutely, because I
Okay.
think it's an important part of,
It's usually your biggest asset is usually your home. And when you buy a home together, and especially in the state of Florida, this is what's known as a homestead state. So when you're married, your spouse has to join you
Yes.
on the property, which means that when you get a divorce, you're both on that property, and that's kind of one of the reasons is basically, so that it is a marital asset is what they consider
Yes.
a marital asset.
I wasn't going to correct you, but
I corrected myself. So as a marital asset, something has to happen with it. Now, one of the biggest mistakes, can we say that again? The biggest mistake that people make when they're getting a divorce when it comes to the house. We see this a lot in our industry when someone comes to us and they want to buy a house, and I say, well, you have a mortgage on here already? Oh, no, that's my ex-wife's, or that's my ex-husband's, that's the ex's house. Well, all they did at the divorce was they'll say to me, oh, I quitclaimed that out. Well, there's two things when it comes to a home. You have the asset, which is the house. It's an asset. Let's face it. It's appreciating. It's an asset. And then you have the mortgage is a liability. You're on both of those. When you get a divorce and they make you sign a quitclaim deed, you're taking your asset away. You're still on the liability. You're still on the debt. You have to make sure that you put in your divorce decree, whoever is staying in the home must refinance you off of that as well. Otherwise, you're still on that debt and you have no asset to go along with it. I know.
yeah, that's not nice. So really it's very important. And again, our disclaimer, we're not attorneys.
Right.
We're not giving you
Yes,
legal
please.
advice here, but these are just the facts of things we see in the mortgage industry of what happens. And then, all of a sudden the one spouse stops paying on it.
Right.
And then here you are, your credit is getting destroyed because you thought that, well, just because I signed over the deed, that I'm
You're
off the hook.
all set. You're
but
not.
if you are on that note, you are definitely responsible too. So, and there's so much more to this, but you know what? I'm going to drink some more of this poison coffee. I got to fill it up and then take a break.
You gonna head to the tap?
I am. I'm going to go fill the tap up. I got to have me a cold one. Okay. So we'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here to talk about our favorite subject. Yay!
Yay!
Oh,
No.
no.
We just feel bad for people because they come to us and they want to buy a house or something like that, and they'll tell us right up front, well, my credit is not so because I went through a wicked divorce.
Yeah,
that
isn't
kind
that
of
the
thing.
number one line? Very seldom do they come to us. I said, I went through this divorce and my credit got higher from it. It just
stellar
doesn't-
now.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really all about monitoring what you had in the assets,
Right.
knowing what was joint, what was your responsibility. Just because something is named in a divorce decree doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
Unfortunately. So you got to keep an eye on it. So let's finish talking about the biggest asset, the house, of other
Yes.
things. So the first thing you want to do, if there's multiple properties involved in this,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they're all named in the divorce, because somehow you can be tied back to them at a later date. Make sure the judge signs off on it, lists the property address specifically in that divorce decree, and of course your attorney is going to guide you on this. And we're only telling you what we see on the mortgage end, how it can come back and bite you when you're ready to move on and buy that
Right.
home again. And it is hard. So
And again, do not sign a quitclaim deed. Do not sign a quitclaim deed if, like you said, with multiple mortgages on any of the houses
right.
if there's a mortgage on it.
And common language, again, we're not giving legal advice. Common language that we see is, like when the market collapsed, a lot of people got divorced and they couldn't
Right.
refinance. So you want to get off of that
Obligation,
off
that liability.
as soon as possible. And I see a lot of, we see a lot of divorce decrees where they'll say, well, you have 3 years to refinance the house.
Right.
So really your choices are, like you were saying during the break, one person's probably going to keep the primary. That's one option. And the other one's going to buy them out. Or that asset.
Somebody stays in the house and somebody leaves the house.
Yes. Or the other option is they sell it and they both start over.
But normally that doesn't happen immediately. Somebody leaves and somebody stays in that house. So during that time frame,
like
this
we're-
is the in-between time that we're talking about. And like you said, sometimes it's in, they have 3 years or whatever the case
We call
may
that
be.
the limbo phase.
The limbo phase. Make sure if you are still on that mortgage, please make sure that whoever is supposed to be paying it is in fact paying
Oh
it.
yeah, I would go online and verify it and check,
Yes.
because if you want to move on and buy another home, that missed payment is going to affect you 2
Right.
years from now when you want to buy a house again and you're ready to move on.
Right.
It's, so-
Tremendously affect you.
All right, so we talk about the house and what you need to do there. What about other obligations? You need to look at, and I would suggest go on annualcreditreport.com, because that is the only really true free credit report out there. Freecreditreport.com is not. They're trying to sell you stuff. Annual credit
not free.
report. Exactly. Why do they call it free
I
credit
know,
report?
it's not free.
You know why they do that? Because you're willing to pay for it. It's so crazy. But annualcreditreport.com will give you all 3 depositories for free once a year, and it will give you the complete report. It'll email it to you instantly. It'll mail
Right.
it to you if you prefer.
So you
But
can check it.
You can go through every one and you look on there for what is joint. It'll say JNT
Right.
on it. So you know that it's a joint obligation. If it's not with your significant other,
Right.
it's with somebody.
And most of the time, you guys know, when the statement comes in the mail, whose name is on it. Although, maybe he carries, this card and you carry this card or something like that. If you're both on them, and sometimes people, when they do get divorced, they're like, well, I'm going to take, these 2 credit cards and you take these 2 credit cards or something like that. If they are joint cards, again, like Barry said, monitor your credit report. Make sure, even though perhaps, the husband was supposed to be paying this, you as the wife, if you're on that, you need to make sure he's paying it. You need to monitor it because it's affecting your credit. And a lot of times people don't know that. Even after the divorce decree, I got to tell you, even after the divorce decree, then what you need to do before, again, signing that divorce decree and everything final, get your name off of that credit card, that joint credit card. There was a situation that a friend of mine
We were pretty close. Yeah, he was trying to buy a house. This loser. Remember,
and this credit card was showing
they're
up.
like, what's that credit card? And why do I keep charging on it? And it was still in my name. That obligation, and I never even used that thing, never had the card.
Right.
But my name was tied to it.
Still on it.
So it counted against me
Yes.
as a monthly obligation.
Right.
That was supposed to be paid per the divorce decree at closing, and it wasn't. And it happens.
Right.
I get it.
And even though it said in the divorce decree that it's her obligation, it's still going to count against him because it is still in his name. You have to get your name off of those cards. You have to get your name off of all of the liabilities.
Him. Him.
Sorry. That was pretty
Wait.
funny. Not to him. I found it rather funny.
Just go ahead and poison the coffee. Let's get it over
But
with.
anyway, it is really important. So not only, maybe your spouse, ex-spouse is fine with,
Or spouse,
preserving their.
right. Or spouses. If we're slinging mud here. Stop. Sorry.
So even if they're good about keeping their credit up, the obligation still counts against you, which leads us to the next one, which is loans. So credit cards and everything, get them off, but loans as well. A lot of times we see this happen as well. Well, he has his car, she has her car. She has her car payment, he has his car payment. But guess what? You're joint.
Yep.
Both of you signed on each other's car loans.
Now-
Just because the divorce decree says he takes care of that car loan and she takes care of that car loan, that does not take it off of your credit report.
So here's what's going to happen when you go to buy the next house, when you're ready to move on, because we see this every day. Even though it says that's yours, that's his, you are going to have to prove payment history for probably 12 months via canceled checks. Now, gentlemen, how many of you want to reach out to your ex-wives right now and say, hey, remember that car you've been paying on? Can you get me 12 months canceled checks? Sure, honey, I'll get it right over to you.
That goes over well.
Yeah, I'll just send it right over. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's going to delay
I know.
you buying this house. You're going to lose the contract, and you're going to lose that
I
house. that you
usually
thought
say
you
to
were gonna buy.
people when I see that, what kind of relationship do you have with your ex?
And how many times they say, "Oh, it's great."
I say, well,
It's
not only
great."
do I need a
All
copy
right.
of the divorce decree, and they say, burned it.
All right,
You
listen.
know?
Listen, let's go have a burning party. We got to take a break, okay? We're having
I
way
know.
Producer says we're having too much fun. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back talking about everybody's favorite subject.
Divorce.
It's so sad.
We really are just trying to help you guys, though. So
Oh,
please, please take that.
Here's my advice to you. Don't do it.
I know, I know.
Work it out.
Yeah.
That's all. It's cheaper to keep her, guys.
But
Just saying.
if you do find yourself in that irreconcilable
Right.
differences,
Yeah.
that's what they all say. I
that's
used
a-
to work for a divorce attorney.
That's a legal term.
irreconcilable. Yes, that's the legal
That
term.
means
Irreconcilable
it ain't going to
differences.
fix itself, and you can't fix it.
Try, though. There's so many counseling sessions out there free with some of the churches and things like that.
We give so much great advice on this
I
show.
know, it's hard.
It's really
But
good.
anyway, so we brought ourselves down to the divorce decree itself. We've been talking about how to, make sure things are all spelled out in the divorce decree. When you do go through that and everything is done and you have that piece of paper, please don't burn it.
I know, although, yeah,
Please keep it.
many a times, I know we all feel like we want to burn it because we don't want
Yes,
to face that part of
they
our
do.
lives again. And they're like, no, I don't have a copy of it. You must have that divorce decree forever and ever and ever and ever.
It's
till-
gonna come
till
up. You're
death
gonna
till
need
you
it.
parted. I mean,
Because, and here's why, and it's not just actually the decree itself, which is usually like, just 1 or 2 pages or something like that where the judge stamps it. Yes, we need that one, but also the book,
The book.
where it went through, this house goes here, that house
Yeah.
goes there,
And
who
it's-
pays this
listen,
obligation, who
and
pays
it's
that
not
obligation.
the kind of book that you can order on Amazon and get it shipped prime tomorrow. It's not
Right.
that kind of
No.
book. It's,
No.
you know, it's a legal document
And-
and it must be signed.
Right, and let us tell you why too. So here's
Yeah,
the
let
reason
us.
that
Let her.
that we need this because we
funny.
have to see we have to see if who's
is-
paying any alimony and or child support. And if you're paying child support, we have to see how long it lasts, which means we also need to know the age of the children. So a lot of times people will send me just that page that says, I pay no alimony, I pay no child support. Guess what? That just has plaintiff defendant on it. Doesn't tell me your name. So we need the whole thing. We do need the entire divorce decree and it's usually called the separation agreement, or what do they call those? I don't even remember what
Marriage
it's called.
settlement agreement.
Settlement agreement, that's it,
You're
not
welcome.
separation. In other states, they call it separation agreement, but
We're
settlement.
not- listen, we're not in other
agreement.
states.
I know. In Florida, it's a settlement agreement. But anyway, we need the whole thing because we have to see. So please don't burn it because we will be sending you to the courthouse to get another one.
Yeah, and remember that all factors into your debt ratio, which affects your ability to again, buy that next home that you want to buy when you're ready to move on.
You know, which brings me to
It's going to bring you something else?
yeah, real quick, real quick, when you're pre-qualifying for a house, if your loan officer is not asking you, do you pay any alimony or child support,
Her loan originator.
bring it up, because they will find out.
Yeah, they're going to find out
They
about it
will find
later.
out,
And,
so.
yeah, sooner or later, because it is public record,
It
believe
is,
it or not.
and they check those things,
You may
so.
think people don't know.
Right,
They
oh, I
know.
got divorced 20 years ago or
And
something
it
like
was
that.
it was in upstate New York.
They'll
Yeah,
find
doesn't
out.
matter. They
They'll
will.
find out. Yes,
Those
they'll
guys
find
are
out.
tough out
So
there.
please mention it because it does factor into things. And then you're going to be, driving to upstate New York to find that divorce decree.
Ooh, that would stink. Imagine in the middle of winter.
I know.
That would be terrible.
It's-
And again,
yeah.
you lose the contract.
So
you lose the
please
house,
keep these papers.
deal's gone. Then we got to
Yeah.
tell the realtor that, oh, by the way, we didn't know they were divorced. What?
And be upfront with your loan officer, right?
Yes.
Be
Be
upfront.
upfront with your loan
Originator. I know.
All right, can
I'm
we-
old
listen,
schow.
You are
All
old
right,
school.
so what are we
Can we
doing?
talk about something more fun than divorce?
I know, let's-
All right, let's kind of summarize.
Hopefully that helps,
We
though.
know, again, let's summarize this.
Real
So you
quick.
know you want to buy a house again. At
Yes.
some point, even though you're getting a divorce. You want to separate all of the assets, the home, the credit cards, the car payments, all that. Otherwise, be
Separate
prepared
not
to-
only the asset, but the liability.
Yes.
Separate yourself from the liability.
Yes, and
debt, the mortgage.
And I actually see a lot of people now buying a house before they get married. We see more of that.
Right, we do.
So the note is in just one person's name,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they get,
Separate.
yeah, when they
When that relationship
when-
dissolves.
Yes, they split apart, and then it seems to be a little cleaner on the back end. But
Right.
I'm not recommending anything. I mean, I'm just saying what we see.
Right.
Anyway.
And we do see quite a bit. So keep your paperwork, separate the assets, separate the liabilities more importantly, and keep your paperwork. Keep it, and keep a good relationship if you can, just in case we do have to go back and say, we need 12 months canceled checks verifying that
Don't-
she makes that car payment and not you.
Yeah, just because it says in a divorce decree doesn't mean the underwriter will
Right.
believe you.
Right.
Anyway, that was so much fun, Delyn.
I know.
I really enjoyed this show,
I know, it's a touchy
but
subject.
it's reality.
is.
Sometimes we don't talk about fun stuff,
I know.
but we try to make it fun.
I know.
I mean, who makes fun of divorce?
Us, besides us.
Yeah, and some of us are better at it than others.
Stop.
Sorry.
Really? Anyway,
Sorry.
moving on. What do we got? Don't we have some?
No, we got nothing. Let's talk about our past, Delyn. So how are things going? Just kidding. Actually,
My
she has
life is actually wonderful.
actually she has a really great husband. He produces this
do.
show.
I
and,
do.
We really like him.
I know.
At
I
least,
do.
You know, I think you like him more than me, but we really like him.
I
He's a
hope
good
so.
guy. Yeah, thank goodness.
You guys do scare me sometimes, though, when he comes over to put your microphone on.
That's
and
not
stuff.
important. That's not important.
Hey, you
now.
brought it up.
No, that's not important. Anyway, so let's talk about what's going on in the community and our favorite organization, because the honorary governor race is still going on,
Yes.
and that's put on by the chamber for those of you who don't know about it. And that race ends April 30th. So vote. You know
Time to
what?
get votes in,
Vote for
yay!
your favorite. Pick one of the candidates. $1 a vote. Pick one of them. There's 5 of them.
It all goes to the community, charities in the community. So it really all comes back to our community that we all live in and love and work
Yeah.
in and play in. And
Now, can I make a suggestion?
yes,
Pick me.
pick him. I like him too.
I'm just throwing it out there. Give me $1. It's a vote. Give
I
me $1.
know.
Go to barryforpasco.com.
There you
Put
go.
$1 in the bucket. Can
There
you do
you
that? It's a
go.
vote. All right. And I promise I'll make it worthwhile. I'll send you a thank you note that costs me $1.50 if you send me $1. All right. That's just how I am.
All goes back to the community.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we're really excited about, our networking group, which is the West Pasco Business Association, WPBA.biz. We have been hearing a lot of suggestions from some of our members and some other people who would like to be members. So we have expanded it. We've been expanding it over the last year. Maria Johnson, who is our
Whoop, whoop.
our leader, our director of operations, she has been doing a wonderful job of expanding it. So we've kind of consolidated things and grown out into the community. So some people can do breakfast things, some people can do lunch things, and some people can do dinner things or evening things. So we now have a group in the morning, a group at lunchtime, and a group in the evening hours. So go to our website, wpba.biz, and by all means, see if there's an available slot for you, because we have lots of openings right now.
Great organization
Right.
and does so much in the community. A true charity and a true, if you want to grow your business, they'll help you with that too.
Right.
Or if you just want to get involved and maybe see how you can make a difference right here in your hometown.
We would love to have you.
Yes, we would. So, all right.
Other
anyway,
than that, that's what we got going
that's it.
on.
So
Hope
we
you
got-
guys have a great
so we
week
got-
too.
Yeah, we got good things going on in the community, and we got divorces happening too. So, you know,
They
we're
happen
here.
anyway.
We talk about everything, don't we?
I know. We appreciate you guys watching. Please like us, share us, and if you know anybody getting a divorce, send this to them.
Yeah, we'll help
This
you.
is a good one for them to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So we expect over half our show to go to all your friends.
Again, disclaimer, we are not attorneys. Please seek legal advice.
Yes.
However,
You know, that's
this
good.
is just a heads up.
Although some of us have a lot of experience in this area.
Like us, share us, get us out there on all the social media sites. We appreciate everyone watching. We are today and every day.
Moving forward.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.